I offered Bo my glasses for this segment to make him look a little brighter, a little more scholarly. He passed them up. He didn't want them. So we're going to go just as is. Bo, let's go kind of element by element through this Nationals roster and coaching staff. Let's start with the starting pitching. To this point in the season, what grade are you giving the Nationals starting pitching unit?
I'm going to give the starting pitchers a A-. And again, it starts with Max Scherzer. Obviously, when you look at the big three at the top of this rotation, this team, this roster is constructed to basically lean on the strength of the pitchers. The only reason it has an A- is because the fourth and fifth starting spots basically have been up and down throughout the course of the year. But I believe getting Anibal Sanchez back on his game and now getting the fifth spot basically solidified, I think that they have a chance to actually continue to carry the weight for this team the rest of the way.
Yes. Dominated by the top three, but the back end has been much better of late. Here are the numbers since May 25th, the last 29 games. A 3.38 rotation ERA. That's really impressive. Holding opponents to a 227 batting average and more than a strikeout per inning. Bo, let's transition to the bullpen now. This is a unit that's been up and down. What grade are you giving the Nationals relief unit overall to this point?
I'm going to give the bullpen a C-. And again, it's a C- because they put together a really good stretch here in June and was able to bring their grade up. When you think about all the woes they had early in the season, a lot of it had to do with basically not being able to throw strikes, finding themselves basically having count leverage against them and making a lot of mistakes in the middle of the plate. When you look at the success in which they've been able to have, they've been able to stay ahead. They've been able to attack the strike zone. They've gotten some help because Mike Rizzo and the front office have went out and added some veterans to the bullpen. So right now, it's a C-, but we know that this is a glaring weakness that needs to improve.
And here's the team bullpen ERA by month. Got off to a rough start in March and April, obviously. May was a disaster, no other way to say it. June, a 4.52 ERA for the bullpen to this point. But that was much better before the bullpen allowed 9 runs last Saturday against the Braves. So the bullpen has been improved the last few weeks or so. All right, Bo, let's transition to the offensive side of the game now. You love offense. We talk about it all the time. What grade are you giving the Nationals offense through their first 80 games?
I love offense and I love the long ball, and I'm going to give the offense a B+ because they have been hitting long balls about as good as anybody else in baseball. But again, when you look at this team, it's not just the long ball. They have professional hitters up and down their lineup. When you look at Anthony Rendon, you look at Juan Soto, you look at Howie Kendrick and Matt Adams. We're getting Zimmerman back. You got Turner and you got Eaton at the top of the lineup. Kurt Suzuki is having another great season. So what this offense has been able to do, and the reason it gets a B+ is because I think the offense was able to actually make up for a lot of the bullpen woes early on.
And since May 24th, here's the Nationals' offensive ranks in a variety of categories. And you're going to see top 5 in the NL in all of these. First in slugging percentage with runners in scoring position. So they're doing a great job of cashing in when they've gotten opportunities to drive in runs. Bo, let's transition to the defensive side of the ball now. This was an emphasis for this Nationals team coming out of spring training to play cleaner baseball. They didn't do it early in the season, but they've done it more recently. What grade are you giving the Nationals defense?
I'm going to give it a B-, and because you said, like you said, more recently, the defense has been better. But this is over the body of work, and we're talking the first half of the season. And I will say, out the gate, this was not a good defensive team. There were makeable plays that were not being made. There were errors that was basically causing the pitchers to throw extra pitches. It cost us a lot of games early in the season. But now when you look at this defense, getting Trey Turner back at shortstop solidified this defense, and they're playing much better baseball at this point of the season.
All right, let's go to the coaching staff now. I've got a major league manager standing next to me for a couple of years in Houston. You were a coach for a ton of years as well. What grade are you giving the Nationals coaching staff to this point?
I'm going to give the Nationals coaching staff a B, and this is a strong B when you look at the job in which they've been able to do. When you look at how this season started, obviously they fired the pitching coach, they brought in Menhart. He has a great working relationship with not just the pitchers in the clubhouse, he's been in the organization a long time. I think he was able to help Davey Martinez and the rest of the staff mend things together, and they were able to basically weather the storm that was out there with all of people calling for Davy's head. You can look at the New York Mets. If you want to look and see the job that Davy Martinez and his job has done, look how things have fallen apart in New York. You do not see that here in Washington. Davy Martinez and his staff have done a great job of keeping this team together, and that's why they're back at 500 with a chance to continue on and have the success that they believe this roster can have.